Hey, I'm Alan Hamilton. Nice of you to join me. Look here, I'm here today to tell you my story on why I'm even on YouTube in the first place. I'm here to motivate people with a little bit of fun, a little bit of inspiration, and maybe give you something to think about. But why I feel as though I'm qualified to do that is because of the things and challenges I went through in my own life. So, to start, my life story is a bit messed up, a bit colorful, but nevertheless, it's what happened to me. So, one day, me, my mom, my dad, we were going to see my granddad. And so, we was riding along in the truck. We just a normal day. I was 3 years old at the time, and, I didn't know much of what was going on, still just figuring out life, as a 3-year-old. And all of a sudden, my dad stopped the truck. We're in a country part of the city that I stay in. And he stopped the truck, and I'm wondering, what's going on? So he gets out, he goes to the passenger side, he gets my mom out. My mom was sitting to the right of me. And so they get out the truck, they start arguing, this and that. And so the next thing I know, I didn't know what it was at the time, but my dad pulls out a knife. And he commenced to stabbing my mom 52 times in the chest, from the abdomen up to the neck, in the face, all that. I found out a lot of that hindsight. So, being a 3-year-old watching that, I didn't know what killing was, or death, or stabbing, or murder, none of that, the horrible things in life. I'm just watching it as it happens in front of me. So the last thing I heard my mom say was that she didn't want to die. And that's just what I heard. I don't know why. This is just a story that I'm telling. Okay, so, all right, mom's down. My dad gets back in the truck, and then he takes me and him go back home. So I'm in the house, you know what I'm saying? We go in, everything. I'm playing with my toys, just like a normal little 3-year-old. I didn't know mama just died, or she got killed, or murdered. I didn't have no clue, idea of none of this. So, next thing you know, about an hour or so later, I guess, my dad comes pick me up and takes me outside in the backyard. Well, then he picks me up and he puts me in this hole that's in the ground. So I'm in the hole looking around like, what is this? Not knowing that the whole time he had dug my grave to bury me. He was going to kill me next and take me out. And so I'm standing in the grave, and it's about, another foot or height taller than I am, so it was pretty deep. And this is where I could actually feel the walls, of the grave, of the hole I was in. And, man, it's getting kind of tough. My dad then pulls out a gun. Like I say, 3 years old, I didn't know what a gun was. He pulls out a gun, he points it at me. And it's close enough to me where I can touch it. I'm putting my hand in the finger, I put my finger in the hole, in the barrel, and I didn't know. So when he's doing that, I'm reaching my hands up to my dad to pick me up. I'm like, pick me up out the hole. I have my arms up, like a kid. Daddy pick me up. Daddy ain't picking me up. And so I get a little anxious, almost to crying. I'm like, Daddy, pick me up, I don't know what's going on. I don't think I like being in this hole, but pick me up. You know what I'm saying? Daddy didn't pick me up. He continued to point the gun at me. And at any time between the time he pulled it out, he could have pulled the trigger, and I wouldn't have been here today. So while he's doing that, my uncle, my mom's older brother, the backyard that we had where we was at didn't have a fence. So it was just, you could just walk around the whole house. All of a sudden, my uncle comes to the house and he pleads and begs from my daddy, saying, "Don't kill my nephew. Don't kill my nephew. Please don't kill my nephew." And so, through a lot of convincing, he was like, "Take my life. If you're going to kill somebody, take me, but don't take him. He's just a child." And like I say, some of this stuff I found out hindsight because I didn't understand. Sorry, getting a little bit there. So my dad, he runs in the house, I guess scared, panic, whatever. And so my uncle, he comes and picks me up out of my grave. And he takes me back to the family where everybody was at. Now, the reason he came to the house was because they found my mom laying in the road. She had already passed away. And so they were coming to find him, to tell him, not knowing that he was the one that did it. So, yeah, that ended up happening. And so throughout my whole life after that, I got teased. A lot of kids knew my mom and what happened, and my family and what happened. So I got teased a lot for that. Got bullied a little bit. But the main message of that is to say your life doesn't have to define you. It doesn't have to be who you are. And a lot of people thought I was going to be a roughneck. They thought I was going to be drug dealer, some type of problem child. Or they thought I was going to be more like my dad. But, I chose not to do that. I chose to be something different. And I demanded from myself that I accomplished that. And I did. Now, I was a kid. I did some dumb stuff. I was a teenager. I skipped school. I stole some things, I smoked weed and cigarettes and stuff like that. I did the normal, I'm going to see what this is about kind of stuff. But, as far as like going to jail, being in and out of trouble all the time. I mean, if you're watching this, you know what a problem child is, a problem person. But I chose to define my life and make it to what I wanted it to be and not what other people told me how I was going to be. And that's what I want to tell you today. Despite what happens in your life, it doesn't have to determine what your future going to be, because that's up to you. And you shouldn't let nobody tell you how to think and feel when it comes to what you want to do and your feelings. And so with that, I just want to keep it real short. I just wanted to do this and get it off my chest. And I hope to spread my message. Please share it. I want young people to know that your life doesn't define you. You don't have to be a product of your environment. And as I perfect telling my story, it's going to get better and better. So that was just a little tidbit, a little tip of the iceberg, on what I'm about and what my channel is going to be about. I'm going to talk about some real shit. I'm going to come at you straight up, no nonsense. We ain't going to BS around, because I have a vision for the world and I plan on making that happen. So you can hop on the train or you can watch it roll on by. But either way, it's going. And guess what? I'm gone.